Hey Brick fans, this is Dave from Brick 101. It's been a while. Merry Christmas. I made a video game, a Lego video game, and if you watch this whole 2-hour video, or close to 2 hours, you'll see exactly, step by step, how I made it and how you could make your own similar Lego video game using the program Unity. If you don't want to go through all that, though, you can just play this game, Rudolph's Revenge, in which Santa has to avoid these robotic Rudolphs who are intent on chasing him down and shooting them with their magic gumballs to destroy him. And he must save Christmas by finding 8 Christmas presents. It's a very short little Lego game, but I made it myself. And that's pretty cool. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. This was recorded back a couple weeks ago at Brickworld Chicago, the holiday edition. So you'll hear me talking to people who were present on that Zoom call, and this is a recorded Zoom call. So the quality of the screen capture is not top tier, but it's pretty good. Anyway, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and there's links in the description to the game. You'll need a computer with a keyboard and mouse. It doesn't work on phones or tablets. And if you want to get the program Unity, you'll also need like a full computer. So yeah. Well, welcome everybody. I am Dave Pickett, aka Brick 101, and I'm going to be teaching you all how to make your very own Lego video game. And in the process, I'll be making one based on your suggestions. So if you want to follow along with this tutorial and make your own video game in the next 2 hours while I am doing that, you're going to need a tool called Unity. So Unity is a industry standard software package that is used to make all sorts of video games. And what's super cool is that Unity and the Lego group officially teamed up to make this really cool program that specifically makes Lego video games using actual digital Lego pieces. So I just put into the description a link where you can find out about the Lego Unity Microgame and get started by downloading the Unity software onto your own computer if you want to follow along. But if you don't have time to do that, that's okay. You can just watch. This is all going to be recorded and will be up on my YouTube channel later. So you can always go back and revisit this later when you're ready to jump into Unity by yourself. But I'm going to take things pretty slow today. So just it's easy to follow along, but also just kind of jump in and start making a game. So as I said, like, this page here is a great overview of what you can do with the Lego video game in Unity. And they have all these different little add-ons that you can do. And they will take you step by step through anything you want to do, whether that's adding an enemy, building something in BrickLink Studio, and then bringing it into Unity, changing who the player minifigure is, changing the background. There's lots of different cool things you can do, and they really take you step by step. You can see my green check marks here on the ones that I've actually completed myself. This Santa one here is actually new since I last checked, so I might play around with that one today, given that we're holiday themed. But the first thing I'm going to do to get started, I'm going to close that. You can all see my desktop here, but I've got Unity Hub open. So Unity Hub is kind of the software that keeps track of all the Unity files on your computer. So you can see we've got some of my projects I've made in the past here. But if you have the latest version of Unity Hub, what you can do is you can click on New, and it'll prompt you with different types of projects you can create. And one of them right here is LEGO Microgame. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and I'm going to give this a title of Brickworld Holiday as the name of the thing I'm making. And that's going to be saved into the place where I save all of my Lego games on my computer, because I've made multiple now. So I'm going to head and create that. And it's going to ask me how old I am, because you should be 18 or older to use this software technically. and that's my birthday, and I have to agree to the terms and service again because they're always updating those. So now it'll take a minute to create the project. So what's happening right now is we are creating a massive 3D environment, right, with different shapes and rules and all these different little pieces. So even a really simple video game is actually really complicated, which is why it takes a little bit of time to create a project. So we've got that bar going, and you can see my desktop background is from a different video game about a little dwarf who's fighting monsters in a dungeon, but that's a story for another day. So Unity is loading right now. Ah, here we go. So now it's pulling in all the assets. So this is even just to create the base project. It takes a little bit. So one of the important skills in game development is waiting patiently, similar to an important skill in Lego animation or other things. And I just realized I should be looking here at that camera rather than looking at my face over there on the monitor. Good times. But as soon as that package.module compilation trigger finishes importing, we should be good. But yeah, as we're going along, if you have questions or suggestions, just feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll do my best to respond and incorporate them. And we can see it's incorporating all sorts of little Lego pieces right now. I saw a leg, there's a hip, some daytime things, a torso, because again, this project comes preloaded with actual Lego pieces as 3D models. So right now it's bringing all of those things in together to make sure that they're all there. So once we're started in the project, we can just drag and drop them around. Air guitar. Oh, interesting. That sounds fun. And I think they've actually added a whole bunch of stuff since I last used this program, which was only a couple of weeks ago. So what's really cool is this is a new project that Lego and Unity have put out, and they've been adding updates over the last couple months. So even though it's new, they're already adding new stuff, and it seems like they have more to come. So yeah, it's really cool. Like, I've been playing Lego video games for a long time, since probably Lego Star Wars back in, what would that have been, like 2005 maybe, so 15 years ago. But now they've really released this really powerful tool that lets you build your own game on whatever you want using Lego pieces. So this is kind of a dream come true for a lot of people, myself included. So it's going to be a lot of fun once this progress bar finishes on the screen here. But in the meantime, I'm going to sip some coffee. But looks like we've got about a dozen people here, so feel free to say hi in the chat or ask any questions you have, or tell me what you're excited to see as we build a Lego video game. What's your favorite Lego video game? Maybe let me know. I definitely really loved Lego Star Wars, Lego Lord of the Rings. Those were two really big ones for me. Also the Lego Marvel superheroes, the first one I really enjoyed. There's been a lot of Lego video games over the past decade or so. Oh, looks like our progress bar is done. Now I've got a spinning wheel. Let's see. Okay. Unity. Awesome. So it's still going to take a minute here to open, but at least the Unity project window is open. Oh, Rob says that Lego Worlds was fun exploring. That's true. I played a little bit of Lego Worlds as well. Okay, so we have Unity open with the Lego Microgame. We've got this nice opening scene here from Lego, kind of telling us about what we're going to do and different ways we can start. I'm going to actually load the tutorials, even though I could probably load the playground scene, because if you're making your very first project in Unity, it's really good to use these step-by-step tutorials, because they literally will take you step by step through every single click you need to do. It's really easy to follow, hard to get lost, because Unity, as you can see, there's lots of windows and buttons going on, so it's very easy to get lost if you don't know. So I'm going to load tutorials. We've got John Beatty says Marvel Superheroes 2 and the Nexus Night apps are their favorite, but also Lego Dimensions. Lego Dimensions was a fun one too. I also played Lego Universe back in the day. That was a fun one. So just looking at what's going on here in Unity, we've got a bunch of different windows, and I'm going to make this even bigger so it really fills the screen for all of you, except for a little thing on the side where I'll keep all my zoom controls. But anyway, now that we're in Unity, so in the center, we've got this whole faded out thing, but you can see over on the right, there's a tutorial, and it's going to take me step by step through the initial steps of just how to move around Unity. So again, if you've never used Unity before, this is a really great way to get started because it'll literally show you which button to click at every step and not let you click anything else. So this one is just going to take us through. So I'm going to click start here. And now what's really cool is Unity is a tool that lets you make games, but you can also play your game in it. So the very first thing we're going to do is play the game. Right? We're not even going to change anything. We're just going to click the play button. And it's going to take a minute or two to load here because it is a pretty complex thing that it's doing. It's loading this 3D world that we can control live on my computer while also having a program open in the background that lets me change it. But you can see now that center window, I am now controlling a Lego video game character. So I'm just moving the camera around now so you can see my little Lego astronaut figure on this island here. But if I start using the arrow keys, she's moving around. And you can see over in the right side of the Unity window, it's even got details on how to control the game. So you could use WASD to move around if you don't like the arrow keys. You can look around with your mouse. Space bar lets you jump, and you can pause with tab. Oh yeah, we can even have our controls shown, got it, in the game, take screenshots. Does that mean I could anyway, I'm just having fun looking around now, but so the first thing to do once you're starting this project is just to walk around and see what's going on. So there's these glowing green crystal things here. And if I walk into it, sparks explode. I've collected it. It's pretty cool. There's an island over there I can't get to, but we're going to jump across this bridge here, jump again, get another crystal. There's a little gnome person over here who's kind of bouncing. Doesn't seem to be mean, but is just hanging out over there. So what's cool, right? This is just a really basic Lego jumping level, but we're going to be able to change everything in this and make it exactly our own. So yeah, this is making your own Lego game. So this right here, just the first thing to show you. Now, what's interesting here is we got to this big gap here, and even with my intense double jump, I can't make it across. And so I fall into the bottomless pit forever and ever. And it should stop that. But anyway, I'm going to stop playing the game now and show us how we're actually going to build all the different things. So again, we're following the tutorial step by step now, just because that makes it a lot easier. And so the next thing is it's telling us to look all the way over on the left to the hierarchy. So within Unity, this is where all the different parts of your game are going to be listed out. So you can see right here, it's blinking on the one that says player minifigure. So that's, of course, the character that I was controlling. But you can see there's other things over here like pickups, Lego models, environment. We'll get to those later. But for right now, we're just going to play around with the player minifigure. And now you can see once I clicked on that, it opens this huge window on the right of all these different options just for the player. Excuse me. So the main thing it's telling me to change right now is the max forward speed. So that's how fast can this run forward. The default was set to 6, and it's telling me to increase that to 13. So I'm going to do that. Oh, 136. That'd be really fast. So I'm going to change that to 13 and hit next. And then it's telling me to save. So saving your project is always a good thing to do, especially in game development. Because if you accidentally do something that breaks your game, you always want to be able to go back and fix it. So now I'm going to play again, and we'll just see that the minifigure is going to move much faster because we changed that number. Again, that's a really small change, but this is how simple it is to play test your game, make a change, go back, and then play it again. And you do have to wait a couple minutes, for loading and things like that. But considering what we're doing here, oh yeah, look how much faster I'm running. Like, this isn't even a challenge now. I'm just zooming through. Maybe I'll be able to make this jump over here now with my new speed. Let's line up the camera. No, not quite. Fall to my doom again. We'll stop that there. So that was the next step of the tutorial. We're actually at 8 out of 9 steps, so we're doing pretty good here. Okay, so that was the first tutorial, pretty straightforward. We're going to do tutorial 2 now, which is out of platform. And then after that, I'm probably going to start messing around doing my own thing. But this is, again, just showing you, if you follow these step by step, it'll really take you through the whole process and not even let you mess up because it tells you what button to press. So I'm going to press start here. And so we're going to fix this hole over here that we were talking about. So I'm moving around now in the editor. So I can control the camera here, and I can actually zoom around this whole level. So you saw me moving around when we were playing the game, but now I'm actually moving around in the editor. So we can see that's where the character starts. There was this first island over here. And so I'm just using the mouse and the arrow keys to fly around as a camera. If we go over here, we see this is that big gap that I'm not able to jump across, right? I've fallen into the bottomless pit here several times. But it's telling me to drag in a platform. So now we're looking at the bottom left corner. So this is where all the different pieces of stuff that you could put into your scene are. So we've got our little level up top that we're working on. So the hierarchy shows us what's currently in it. This shows us all the things that are in our whole project. So every Lego piece that they've built for us is down here in the bottom left. So under Lego models, stone structures here, there is a platform. So if I go ahead and grab that and drag it in, look, I'm literally putting that into the world. And now I didn't put it in a good spot, right? I put it too high. But we can move around to adjust our view a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move this platform. So up in the top left, we're selecting move, and then it gets these 3 different colored arrows on it. So we're moving an object in 3-dimensional space, which means it can go up and down. It can go, kind of left or right and in and out, right? So there's 3 different ways. So if you grab any of those arrows, it'll let you drag it in that direction. So we're going to push it down a little bit. And you know what? We're going to zoom back a little bit, and because we want to line that up nicely. And I might even move my camera over here just to make sure it's lined up right. So I like to always, when doing something that's 3-dimensional, look at it from a lot of different ways to make sure that it's exactly where I want it, because it's a little hard sometimes to tell where something is in 3D. But it looks pretty good right now. It's crooked, but that's okay, but it's in the right place. That looks like a place I could actually jump to. So I'm going to click next, and it's telling me select the rotate tool because it agrees. We don't like it being crooked. So now there are, instead of 3 arrows, there's 3 circles. So grabbing any of those circles allows me to rotate it. So we're using this yellow circle here. or green, I guess, to move it along the y-axis. But we could also spin it in different directions, like that or that, which would be kind of silly. But we could put it all the way upside down, which would be fine. But we're going to keep it right side up for now, just to follow along step by step. And now if we play the game again, we should be able to jump across that gap because there's something in the middle for us to land on. We just put it there. It didn't exist before, but through the magic of game development, now we have a place to land, at least hopefully. But that's why it's always important to play test and see, does the thing I did, editing actually work when I play? So, and I don't know if you can hear the sound of my screen, but it makes like a bing every time I hit one of those collectibles, which is kind of fun. But that's okay. You don't really need to hear the sound. Anyway, we're getting here, get to this platform, and oh, it's a little crooked. You can see it's a little crooked there, but that's okay as long as I can successfully land on it. Woo! Didn't fall into the bottomless void. Success. And now I can even jump all the way over here, this place I wasn't able to get before. There's some berries. We can see down there where I started. And then there's this broken elevator here. But I've already played this, so I know that one of the next things is being able to make this elevator work. Oh, and Roger, thank you for confirming you could hear the sound effects. And yeah, this is kind of like a combination of a Lego game and Minecraft in a lot of ways. It's not the same as Minecraft where you're able to change things as you're playing because you have to kind of go back and forth, but it really is very similar to that. Okay, so it's telling me that I can now adjust the platform placement again if I'm not happy with it. It's pretty good, but I'm going to make it a little less crooked just so, that part of my brain is happy. Okay, that looks better. So we're basically done with that tutorial, and now we're going to activate the elevator. Oh, it's reminding me to save. We're going to activate the elevator, and then I'm going to go off and do my own crazy stuff rather than keep following the tutorials. But these first 3 tutorials are a really good place to get started, and there's actually a whole bunch more tutorials you can follow. But this one, okay, so we're going to activate the elevator. So what's really amazing is, okay, not only are we, moving Lego things around here, but they have these cool Lego behavior bricks that have game rules embedded into a Lego piece. So there are all these 2x2 bricks that all you have to do is connect them to the model you want them to work on, and it will magically do the thing you want. So there's an elevator brick. We're going to grab it. Come on. All right. There we go. Grab and drag it in. Come on, drag it in. Drag it in. There we go. Okay, so I've dragged that into the screen. And so in this Lego Unity microgame, there is a really cool feature called brick building, which means that you can actually move Lego pieces and they will connect to one another. So this is incredible, right? Maybe not to you because you've used things like Studio or, L-Draw or other tools that allow you to play with digital bricks. But basically, these 3D models in Unity, if they have Lego pieces in them, will actually work like Lego bricks. And you can change between selecting one brick at a time, or you can select, so we could actually pull this model apart here. So I'm going to take off that 2x2 plate. Let's move this, slope out of the way because I just want to, and I'm going to rotate it a little bit. Why not? And look, now I'm going to connect it in a different direction because I'm crazy like that. I could even move this back now So you can literally build with Lego. It's exactly like Lego Digital Designer, Lego Virtual Designer, but it all will then be actual things you can step on in the game. Rogers is asking, did I design this part of the game or is it in the program? No, this is all in the program. I haven't done anything special. This is what you start with, this basic level here, and all these Lego building tools. So anyway, I'm gonna stop messing around with this, but it's really cool. And so so if you switch, then you can select all the pieces that are connected versus just switching one piece. So those two little things in the corner of the window here turn on brick building and whether you're doing a single brick or the whole thing. So anyway, now that we've done that, we've put the elevator thing on. We're gonna play this and test it out to see if the elevator works. All right, so again, it starts us back at the beginning of the level. We're gonna have to go across. Oh, my platform's still crooked over there. You can see it in the distance beyond the hopping gnome. Okay, now make the double, oh no, I missed my own platform. Oops. But it is actually successfully telling me that I lost, which is good because it wasn't doing that earlier. So the way this game is set up, if you get hit or fall off a platform, you just immediately have to start the whole thing over, which is not as nice as a Lego game where they give you health and stuff, but we're only building something pretty small, so it's okay for today. All right, let's actually land on my platform this time. And if you find that the level is too hard, we could go back and put more platforms in there so it's easier to jump across. All right, but look, now we've got this elevator that has all the weird modifications I made to the pieces, and it's actually an elevator. Rest in peace, Lego U. That's very true. So I can even step on this slope over here that I put there that wasn't there before, and my character recognizes that as a place it can stand. So this elevator, right, we turned into an elevator and we modified the pieces on in this engine, and now we're able to step on it and play it. And what's also cool is we can now beat the level finally. So we can get all the way up here, and if we touch this thing, we win! So this is now a level you can actually play through and beat. So it's not the most exciting level ever, right? But it is a complete game experience, right? You start in one place, you jump across some things, you touch the trophy at the end, and you win. So we have now made a game, a Lego game. So Chris is asking, what is this game called? So this is the Lego Unity Microgame. So I'll put a link in the chat again. It sounds like Ninja Warrior. So this is a thing we just made using the program Unity and the Lego Microgame template. So we just built this level ourselves, and we're going to edit it now to make it what we want. We're going to change the elevator according to the tutorial real quick. But yeah, so this is not an official Lego game. This is our Lego game that we just built. So if you want to follow along, you can download the program Unity, go to Unity Hub and start your own Lego microgame. And all the tutorials I've done so far today, you can follow step by step by step, just like I have done. And this session right now I'm recording, and it will be available on the Brick 101 YouTube channel after the fact, assuming I am still recording. Yes, I am. Okay, so it's telling us now that we're going to change the elevator again. So we're back at the elevator, and it's adding a touch trigger. So that's another one of these magical behavior bricks. And so basically, if we bring the touch trigger in, it's another Lego piece. It just has that minifigure hand icon on it. And so if I put it down, basically what that does is it says that elevator doesn't start to move until the player touches it. And so, right, because the way it worked before is the elevator was just going up and down all on its own all the time. Whereas now it'll be activated once the player touches it. So again, we're just play testing it to see what changed. We've still got our collectibles and our jumps because we didn't change any of that. We've still got Dave's crooked platform over here, but you know, it works. And now this elevator isn't doing anything until we run up and get on it. And now it knows to be an elevator whenever it gets touched. And it just stays elevating after you touch it. No, this is absolutely free. So this is all free software that I'm using right now. And the LEGO Microgame is a free add-on to a free program. You're not allowed to sell anything that you make with this, but you can use it just to kind of learn and make your own games and share them with people. So it's totally free to make your own LEGO game, which is kind of incredible because at the same time, you're also learning the basics of 3D game design, right? That's this is the exact same process that somebody uses to make a game like Fortnite. That uses a different engine called Unreal as opposed to Unity, but it's the same concept. So everything that you're learning through this can then be applied to any other video game you'd ever want to make in the future. I think we're done. Yeah, we're done with that third tutorial. So I'm going to stop following these tutorials now, but you can see there's a whole bunch of different ones here. We can change how you win. We can build an enemy. We can customize it. There's all sorts of mods, lots of fun stuff. But we're going to stay away from that for right now because I want to make something Santa themed. So I'm going to go back to my internet browser where I had the LEGO Microgame open. So these are different mods you can add on and follow to do different things in the LEGO Microgame. So you can add a locked area where you'd have to use a key to open a door. You can change the player minifigure, a whole bunch of things. This one is the one I want, which is add Lego Santa. And when I click on this, it tells me that I'm going to need Santa's Brick Shop, which is an add-on to the base LEGO Microgame. So in addition to the microgame that I downloaded, there's all these extra things you can add in to make your game a little different. So you need to have the base game first, but then you can add on these different things. So this is free. All of these LEGO Microgame pieces are free. And you're going to have like a Unity profile and all that to actually add this onto your computer. It is a pretty complex program, but once you have it added in, then you can create all these different things. So now it's opened up my package manager, and I can see Santa's Brick Shop here. So I'm going to click download, and so that'll take, it only took a few seconds. And now I'm going to click import to bring it in to the project that I'm working in, and it's going to show me, oh, there's all these different things here. You want to bring them all in? And I say, yes, all of them. And so now it's going to import all those different things. And in a minute or two, we should be able to start adding some of those holiday things to our level to make it more festive for the season. It said Frosty, an elf, a tree. This is going to be super Christmassy. Okay, let's see. So in our assets over here, so in the bottom left, we have the assets folder, and we have the Lego folder that we've been using, but now we have this add-on, which is where Lego's Santa Brick Shop is. And so we're going to look and see some of these things here. Like, what are some of these Lego models? Oh, here's a Santa. Let's just drag that into our game. Cool. So now we have a Santa. It's built out of bricks, right? And we could play around with that and tear it apart if we want and change it up. But we'll just let him keep his beard for now. And we'll put in a gingerbread. Whoa, that's big. It's big and angry too. And maybe Frosty. And I don't know what these things are going to do, but let's save our game and just test it out, adding these random things in. Because that's really the fun of, making your own game, is playing around with your game. So you don't even know what you're doing, just trying things out, seeing what happens. So I might have possibly put in some massive boss that's going to kill me immediately now because I'm not prepared. But, that'll be a learning experience. Okay, so we've got Santa over here. He just kind of moves around. Uh-oh, that snowman is angry. Ah, I got so scared I ran to my doom. Let me try that again. Not freak out this time when Frosty starts shooting snowballs at me. So these are called prefabs. So that's a term within Unity to say it's a bunch of things that are all built together that do some kind of behavior. So we can see here on the back, it's rolling a dice and then turning around and then shooting. So it's using a whole bunch of different behavior bricks to make Frosty into this kind of evil turret. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. That gingerbread man is coming for me with all sorts of throwing candy buttons at me. Run. So I'm just going to show you that it does, in fact, kill me. Not that I wanted to die, but again, this is just playing around to see what these things do. Yeah, kind of unexpected from the holiday pack. You didn't expect everything was just going to attack us. I'm sure some of these other things are friendlier, but all right, we've got a lot going on right now in this level, right? Like, it's actually too much. There's too much going on. It's hard to remember what everything is. So I'm going to delete a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to just drag over here, grab this whole secret island, and see if I can just delete it. All right, everything's a. All right, we'll go one by one then. So we're going to take this rock here, delete it, grab that rock, delete it, delete it, delete it, delete it. So I'm on a Mac, so I have to press Command Delete to do this. But all of these things that I'm touching here in the window, like this rock over here. Let's see if we can grab. Okay, here's that palm tree I'm grabbing. So that is over here under Lego models. Where is palm tree? Should be here. Is that not over here? Oh, palm. So if we go through this hierarchy over here, we can click around and see that there's 3 different palm trees that I can see on the screen. And as I go up and down through the hierarchy on the left, it can show me which of the palm trees I'm selecting, and then I can delete that one. So that's another way you can go through. You can either kind of select them in the world and delete them, or you can click them over here. Oop, didn't mean to do that. See, now that I've left the tutorials, I'm in the danger zone because I can mess things up a lot easier. But basically what I'm just trying to do right now is just clean up our level so we're not overwhelmed with all of these things everywhere. Let's see, where's some of these other things? So I'm going to zoom out some. Oop. And I'm even going to get rid of these mountains in the background. So that's going to go bye-bye. That's going to go by, because there's just so much going on. It's hard to keep track of what we've built versus what was already there. And, you know, we want to make a simple level with not too many things going on so that we can actually maybe survive the attack of the gingerbread man. Because that's obviously the boss of our level is Mr. Gingerbrick. Delete that. Whoop. And you know, if I wanted to, I could have started a blank level from scratch rather than starting with theirs. But I do like starting with theirs just because, you know, there's something already there you can play with immediately. And it's not too confusing. But then once you get to a certain point, I just like to clean out everything else so that I can focus and know exactly what I'm doing. It's just kind of like after you've built the Lego set following the instructions, sometimes you want to take it apart and rebuild it your own way, combine it with other things, and then you just want to know what each piece is. So I got rid of all the mountains in the background. So now we're going to look at all these rocks over here, which are, you know, kind of the actual level we were jumping around on. And we're going to delete anything that's not that first little area over there, just so we have less to deal with. So this isn't the most exciting part, but this is, you know, what game development looks like. It's lots of little details, checking things out, and deciding if you want them or not. Rob says that it would be really cool if you could be the Cookie Monster minifigure to attack the gingerbread man. That would be cool. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to be Cookie Monster, but you know, we'll still have fun as our little astronaut or some other character that is included. Okay, so that one. Get rid of that one. So you can see we're just really cleaning up our level right now, getting rid of all the extra stuff so that there's not too much going on. It's kind of nice to just slowly delete things and see the world get smaller. At least I find it fun. Okay. It's just that one more piece. There we go. All right. So that was all of the rocks. And now we'll just clean out. We're going to get rid of actually all those crystal pickups. I don't want any of those anymore, I've decided. So they're all gone. And then in terms of our Lego models, the berries, the elevator, the little monsters, we're going to get rid of all of that. So all it'll be left is the things that I added later, like my little sad rotated platform over there, and then our holiday themed things and that initial island. So it's a lot emptier now. Get rid of that platform, but it also will be a lot easier to see what we've built and what we're doing. And in fact, I'm going to get rid of these rocks over here because I feel like this is a Lego game. It should look more Lego-y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a giant Lego base plate underneath this. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go down to my window over here, click on Lego Prefabs, Lego Models, and Brick Collection. And what's really cool is there's two brick collections that come with this, Cool Bricks and Starter Bricks. So I'm going to drag Cool Bricks in here and look at all these different pieces I now have to play with. Lots of different pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this big circle one over here and I'm going to change its color. So I'm going to select that piece. And then over here, let's see. Oh, first I need to unpack it as a prefab, which it's a whole complicated thing. I'm going to move cool bricks under Lego models, and then I'm going to unpack prefab completely. You don't need to know what that means right now, aside from we're taking all of these pieces and turning them into individual pieces. So now I can move this piece around, and when we look over in the inspector, we can see we can change what color it is. So it's right now this orangey color. And if we click on that, it brings up this whole color picker of all these official Lego colors. So I want this to be white now. So you can see that circle here is now a white circle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this gigantic. So I'm going to take the X and Y scale here from 1 to 100. Oh, it's not going to let me do that. Never mind. I thought I was able to do that before. Let's see. Why is that? Maybe that was when I pulled something in separately. All right, well, instead of that, I'm just going to start putting some snow on the ground here, I guess, with this piece. I was hoping to kind of make everything just a giant white snow circle. But what I was trying to do isn't working right now, but that's okay. We'll just modify and adjust from there. And let's see if we can select the children here or see all of them. Maybe just delete all of those. All right, let's just start with this one piece. I brought in all of these pieces, but I really only wanted 1 or 2 because that's already a lot going on. I'm still learning this tool, so apologies for any confusion. But I just really want to put a lot of snow down. Oh, let's move this rock down. So let's make this a lot flatter. And you know what we can adjust the size of? Let's get rid of that rock. We're going to go down to 1 rock here. We had too many rocks, I've decided. Because I don't want this level to be about falling down a pit so much as I want it to be about running around in a snow land. So I'm going to change the scale on this rock to be really big. Oop, we'll keep that 0 and make that 30. We make that 3. I made it too big maybe, but now it's just a giant piece of land that everything can be on or under. Let's move it up. Say, yeah, I made it too big. Let's take that down to 10 by 10. Okay, there we go. Now we're actually getting close to having this where I want it again. Maybe just a 5 by 5 or 2 by 2. There we go. That looks more manageable now. So this giant rock thing down here, I'm just going to bring up until it's kind of under our characters. And I've got to zoom around with my camera. But now we've just got like a big flat surface for all of our stuff to be on. And now we could move everything around so it's on the ground again. And now we don't have to worry about like falling down into the abyss all the time. And we want this to be more of a wintry snow area. So I'm going to see if I can change the look of this rock here. So if we go onto the inspector, there's all the way down at the bottom, Rock Light and Albedo, which is kind of a color picker within Unity that's separate from those Lego colors we were looking at earlier. So I'm going to make the rock just be a bright white snow area now. So now we're already feeling like a lot more holiday themed. And let's just go ahead and save real quick and then start looking at some of those other assets in the holiday pack to see what we can do to make this fun. Okay, so here's Santa. Let's put Santa in there. Santa the minifigure. Oh, we've got some presents. We've got some candy canes. Oh, a chimney. And a giant present. And a tree. And another candy cane. Does the same? Oh, no, that was the big one. This is a smaller one. A fireplace. Put a chimney piece on top of that. So sometimes it's hard to see what you're doing. So you've always got to be thoughtful about where you put your camera so you can move things around the way you want. Because I really want to get this chimney lined up so you can jump down the chimney and go into the fireplace, because obviously that's what Santa does. Oh, and now they're connected. So I'm gonna undo that. Sometimes you do the wrong thing. Okay, so let's grab this again and line it up better. I think that's right. Okay, so now we've got this whole chimney thing. All right, and now we're gonna save and just start running around and seeing what happens. So I don't know if you can hear the music, but it's already much more holiday. We're of course running away from that giant gingerbread man. We're also controlling Santa and our astronaut simultaneously. Let's see what happens if Santa goes in the fireplace and presses E. Oh, he's got an elevator. He left me behind though. Let's get both of us in there. And now we can go up the chimney. Oh, maybe it doesn't go all the way up. I probably connected something incorrectly. But anyway, there is a little chimney elevator in there. And let's see what happens when we touch this. We just blew up a giant present. Jumping on a candy cane over here. Here's some pieces of our present that flew all the way over here. So this is not the most clean game, but right, this is something that we all built together just right now. So that's kind of the fun of a tool like this, is you go from absolutely nothing or just a few starter pieces, and a little bit later you've got a totally different environment that you've built and you can play around with to kind of figure out how different things work. I think we should probably get rid of that giant gingerbread man for right now, because it is just continuously killing us. So let's see. So because I've just been dragging things in, they're not like well structured on the left here. So I'm just going to clean some of this up a little bit. So let's see, Mr. Gingerbrick we're gonna delete real quick. But Frosty and Santa, the brick model Santa, we're going to pull down into Lego models here, which was one they set up for us as a folder. We can also do that with the fireplace and the candy canes and even the tree and the present. This present, the little present, we'll put in pickups. That's how it's built to start. And just put that. This Santa we're not going to put because that's actually a minifigure. So the thing we want to do next is replace the player minifigure with Santa so that we play as Santa and not playing as Santa and the astronaut. And then the chimney. Oh, the chimney, I think I messed up. So we might just have to delete that chimney. I see, because it's all become one big thing now. So if I remember correctly, the player minifigure over here, so it's attached right now to that astronaut, and Santa is going to have a lot of the same rules attached, but has some different audio rules, maybe, because he's Santa. But what really matters is the camera brain. So the camera decides, who do I follow? So if I look at the camera brain, I'm gonna close tutorials. Let's see. Oh, third person free look camera. That's what I'm looking for, I think. So we're going to delete the player minifigure because we've pulled in that Santa minifigure. And now on third person free look camera, we're going to tell it to follow Santa. And it is Santa 1. And it is Santa 1. All right, so now if I play this, we should just be Santa and not be the astronaut and Santa simultaneous. So again, some parts of game development are fun and furious, and others of them are slow and tedious, like looking through menus and selecting the right thing. Okay, it's following me, but now I've got this weird red space around me. I'm not sure what I did to deserve that, but I kind of fixed it. So that's improvements, right? We've at least got it following Santa this time. So not sure exactly if there's another place I need to select Santa, or if I should unpack this prefab maybe, and that would make that better. Or is it better to, I think I can drag and drop Santa from there to here, and that might do it slightly differently. And let's see how that works. Again, I'm not super versed in all of these different things. There are tutorials you can follow step by step to change the camera on the player minifigure. And maybe it's just that I have the third person camera selected right now, as opposed to something else. Is that what's making that all happen with the red boxes? There we go. So basically, everything's fine. I just had something selected that was giving me that kind of debug mode that showed me the red box, but Okay, so what's our game, right? Right now we just have a bunch of stuff in this big snow area. We've got our Santa minifigure who can run around and collect presents. We've got giant presents that can explode. We've got evil snowmen. But we need to actually have a way to win. And right now there is no way to win. So we're going to go back to the basics of the LEGO Microgame tool here and go look at prefabs and LEGO behavior bricks. So that was the thing we used earlier to make the elevator go up and down, if you remember. So we are going to pull in this win trigger here. And we're also going to pull up the pickup trigger. So basically, if we put these two things together, it's telling the level, I need to find all of the pickups in the level and collect them all to win the level. And if we look at now the two things we've pulled in, should be here and there. Let's see, where are they in the environment? Oh, pickup trigger. So in the inspector here, you can say what is the pickup trigger connected to. So it's connected to the win action, which is what we want. And what is the mode? So we could say, are we going to do all the pickups, a certain number of pickups, or specific pickups? We're just going to do all pickups, keep it simple. We can also choose what sound it makes when we win. And we can also say what it's going to tell the player to do. So right now it says collect all the pickups. So we're going to change that to say find all the presents. And then we're going to change the details to ho, ho, ho. So now if we save and play this, we should be able to collect that present and then win the level. So you can see up in the top right of our game, it now says find all the presents, ho, ho, ho. It says 0 out of 1. So this present here, because it's a pickup, it automatically detects as there's one of them. And if we touch it, we win. So, right, we've got back to a simple gameplay loop now. We went from something that was really complicated of having to jump up all those platforms to get to the end, to now you just have to find all the presents in the level and then you would win. So now if we put more presents in, we would be able to make this level longer and have more things. So I'm even going to get rid of this snowman for right now. Let's see, go to pickups, put that present under the pickup. Let's get rid of that Frosty. He's just causing us some issues right now. So now there should be nothing in this level that's going to hurt us. So we could just put a whole bunch of presents in there. And let's do, so we're just going to drag in more presents and let's see, put one over there and put one over there. And we'll put one under the tree here and put one in the fireplace maybe. Oh, bring that one back. So now there's just going to be a bunch more presents to go run around and find. Yes, Rob, it is much more festive now. Let's see. All right. Okay, so now it says 0 out of 7. So we can go around and I don't know if you can hear all the sound effects, but Santa is saying ho, ho, ho every time he hits a present. So that's pretty satisfying. Okay, there's one more. Where did I put it? Oh, it's by the fireplace. And we can also explode this present just for fun. And so I think what I want to do now is, oh, you can't hear Santa. Sorry, let's see. Can I change that? Can y'all hear that? Ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 ho. 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 Oh, I always forget the one by the ho, ho, ho. So yeah, so that, right, and I didn't even have to do anything in the game to put in those ho 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 sounds. That just came with Santa. And the music that's playing in the background is because I put this tree in, because if you look really closely at the bottom of this tree, it has a sound effect brick on it. And if you then click the individual piece here, I think this is the music that it's playing, Building 9 to 5. Let's see, I think that's what it was. So again, that's what's really cool is you're not necessarily having to select all these things in the menu. Just by dragging that tree in and putting Santa as the player, we get those ho 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 sound effects and the festive music. So, okay, so we've got some presents now, right? If we go around and collect them, we win, and we get to hear the Christmas music. That's already a pretty satisfying experience, but right, it's not very challenging right now. We can see all the presents. They're not that hard to find. So what I want to do is I want to hide one of the presents inside another present, of course. So we've got that giant exploding present over here, if you remember. So I'm going to do some cleanup in my menu first, because remember that left side tutorial, sorry, the hierarchy on the left side there is where we see all of the objects that are inside of our game. Oh, Roxy says that we need an enemy. Thank you for sharing that information, Tuesday. We will add an enemy. Let me clean up first. So we've got presents, 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 presents. So those are all presents that are pickups. So I'm going to grab all of those and move them down to our pickup thing here. So that way, if we wanted to, we could just press this little eyeball here and all of the presents disappear from our level. So if we ever get overwhelmed by all the stuff, we can just make it disappear. So we can do that that's why it's nice to group things so you can affect everything at once. We also have all the Lego models nicely grouped now. So yeah, now if I can make the whole level disappear. So we made the ground disappear because that's the environment tab. We made the pickups disappear, and we made all of the Lego models disappear. But now I'm going to go under Lego models, and I'm going to go to that present large, and I'm going to press the F key, because what's really cool about pressing the letter F when you're in Unity and you have something selected is you focus in on it. So I could be way out here looking over at nothing, and then if I press F, it's like, go back to the present. Look over at this candy cane, but oh wait, no, I want to go back. Where's Santa? Click Santa, press F. Oh, it's not working now. Oh, I clicked too hard. So be here, press F. Click Santa, F. Now we're looking at that Santa. There's two Santas, so that gets confusing. But present large, click it, press F. I don't know why it's not working now. F. Anyway, it works most of the time. But we've got this giant present here, right? And what we know from playing is that if we hit this touch button up here, it will explode the whole present. it's not clear why it explodes, right? We'd have to look inside of the present to see what's going on. But also if we click connected, it should show us all of the bricks that are connected. Let's see. I'm just gonna pull it apart real quick just to see what's inside here. Ah, so there we go. So there's an explosion brick inside the present. So basically, because this piece is connected to that piece through the inside the present, it will explode when you touch that piece. So I just undid what I did pulling it apart. So we're going back to this. So, but I'm gonna hide this other present, which is one of our pickups, inside that big present, because I can just drag it inside. It doesn't need to be in a place that makes sense in the real world, because this is a digital world. So it can just be hiding inside there. And let's test this out, because what I want is I want to have to blow up the big present to get the small present, so that you have to go up blowing up big present to find small present. Now we go over here and touch this. Now we find a little present inside the big present. So there's no way we could have gotten that without exploding. So that's really satisfying, right? Because like, then we can hide all sorts of big presents all around. And, oh, the tree rotates too, that's cute. Just go around exploding presents in order to find the little presents. And that's how we win the game. Oh, now it's a bit loud. Sorry about that. I'm not sure how to adjust the volume on my computer relative. I'll try to keep it a little bit lower. Okay. But Roxy told us we needed an enemy. So let's put in an enemy. So let's look back at these different Lego models here. So there were a bunch of different characters. We saw Frosty, who shoots at us. We saw the gingerbread who shoots at us. Let's see what Rudolph does, because that could be fun. And let's see what this little elf does, because they've taken the time to put those in. So let's see how they work. So Rudolph doesn't seem to do anything, he just kind of stands there. And the elf just kind of jumps around. So those are not going to be good enemies. But what's cool is we can turn Rudolph into an enemy. Okay, so if you remember, we have all these different behavior bricks. So I'm going to go back to the main menu here, go down to behavior bricks. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make Rudolph look at us. That doesn't seem too scary, but it is a good part of an enemy, I think, is that they look where you are so that they know that they're watching you when you're awake, when you're asleep. Rudolph's the one making the list in this game, not Santa. So you can see there's a little eyeball on the brick. So we want to make sure that that eyeball is facing the same direction as Rudolph's eye, or it's going to look a little weird. And what we'll do here is we're actually going to take that piece out and put this eyeball actually inside Rudolph right there. I know it's the wrong color, but it'll just, it'll look good, trust me on that. And then, let me see, I'm going to have to probably take apart our Rudolph as a prefab here real quick. Oh, it's already unpacked, but I'm going to delete that one little piece there. And now we're going to play this again just to see what happens. Oh, Rudolph only works when it's foggy. It's in his contract. Good point, Rob. Okay, so now if we go over to Rudolph, we'll see that he's watching us. He's always watching. He's got kind of like a robotic movement and sound. Hopefully that sound's not too loud now. But he does just kind of follow us. Wherever we go, he's always looking at us. So that's just kind of the first thing I wanted to do, just to give Rudolph a little bit of movement. So we used the look at behavior brick to do that. And now we want to make him a little more dangerous. So we're going to make him follow us. So we're going to put the move trigger in, and we'll just put that right behind the eyeball piece here. And so I believe now, so the distance, I think I'm just gonna play this and see what happens. I think this will make it so he just always is slowly moving towards us, because he's always going to look at us and then he's always going to move, because those are the two things we've now told Rudolph he can do. Let me play and see how it works. I also really like the way they did the antlers on Rudolph, those pieces, the arch pieces they use. That's a really cool technique. So now we see Rudolph will always walk a little bit towards us. He'll always look to face us, and then move a little bit, and then move a little bit, and in fact, he'll push us. So he could just push us right off the edge eventually right now. Right, that's not so scary in and of itself. It's not hurting us, but now we've got the basics of a behavior, right? So we know that Rudolph will always look at us and then walk towards us. So if we add one more piece, so we're going to put the hazard piece. So if we put that on Rudolph, just going to put that on his face here. And what's nice about these behavior bricks is as long as they're connected to the model, they'll do the thing. So that's all we need to do is say, put the hazard piece on, and now all of Rudolph is dangerous to Santa. So if Santa touches Rudolph, Santa will die. That's the rule now that we've just created, which, you know, doesn't really make sense, but we can see Rudolph is covered with poisonous skulls as he slowly comes for us for his revenge, because we make him more than foggy. Oh, he killed us. Right, so we now created an enemy. We've created the evil Rudolph who will hunt down Santa and destroy him. Right, and that maybe is not the enemy you want in your level, but it's kind of a funny, silly enemy that we've just created. And we could also have a Rudolph that shoots, right? Rather than, let's say, being a hazard, we could give it the shoot action. So that looks like a little laser gun. So we're going to put it there. Of course, what we actually wanted to shoot is out of its nose. Roxy approves of this enemy. Thank you, Roxy. I live to serve. So just this thing, we can choose what the projectile looks like. So it's a cannonball. We can choose the sound effect. It starts with a banana sound. We can choose how far it shoots and lots of different things. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a trick. So just show you how this looks, and then we'll decide if it's going to work at all. But this should be pretty straightforward. Oh, here comes Rudolph with a death wish trying to kill us. It did get stuck there, so we're safe from Rudolph for right now. But it is kind of shooting cannonballs out of its nose, so that's already pretty funny, right? The dangerous Rudolph hunting us down and shooting us. But we might not like having all these bricks stacked up on our Rudolph. So the other thing we can do is there is a thing called scripts. And all of the Lego behaviors that we've been showing as bricks also exist as scripts, which means they are the same rules and you could attach them to any piece as opposed to having them being attached to those big 2x2s. So if I look for the shoot action here, I can take that, and if we look at Rudolph, I can actually just attach that shoot action to this individual piece here, or at least I should be able to. So you see this add component here, gonna grab shoot action and drag it onto the piece that is his nose. It's gonna shoot a cannonball because those are the Lego projectiles. But let's see if we can't maybe change this Lego projectile to look a little bit more like a red nose coming out. But anyway, just to quickly show that this works, let's go back to our Rudolph here. And we're going to delete that shooting piece that we added because we just made his nose a shooting piece. And we'll just test that that works, because it's always good when you're making a game after you think you've done something to test, did I actually do that thing? Does it work the way I want? Because a lot of times it doesn't. And you never know until you test it out. So that's why play testing always, always, always is a good idea. Oh, there's a laser beam. Okay, so it is shooting, but it is now shooting backwards because that's the direction it thinks is forward from that piece. So now it's almost like he's shooting dangerous poop out the back, which is not what I wanted, right? So that's why we play test, because sometimes it doesn't work. Let's see, how would I change that actually? I think what I'm going to do, in fact, is I'm going to go back to the scripts and Lego behaviors and look at the touch, look at the shoot action, and see if I maybe attach it to a different piece that is aiming forward, like this, this piece here maybe. If I make that the shooting piece, and let's make this a laser beam instead of a cannonball, see if the laser beams come out forward. Oh, Rayan left. Bye-bye. We've still got another half an hour here, so we're gonna test our Rudolph and then maybe play around a little bit more with presents, and then we'll be done with our game for today. And again, this is just like a tiny little level we're building. The laser beams are now shooting down because that's the direction that brick is pointing, apparently. So it is complicated to kind of get it right, which is why it's nice to use those big behavior bricks, because then you can always see the direction it's supposed to shoot. I like to use scripts just because they can be a little bit nicer if you get them to work right, but you do have to play around with things to get everything to work sometimes. So let's put the shoot action on this this piece here, and we'll make it a arrow this time. Okay, wait, let's go back to this piece. It's got the shoot action, and then we're going to choose arrow. Oh, we can have it be any piece. Ooh. All right, it's going to shoot a gumball. Even better. Okay, this is going to be so good. Now let's see if this works the way I want it to. I think it's going to shoot little gumballs at us like that gingerbread man did that we put in early, and it was way too powerful. So if we test this out, Rudolph will be shooting 3 things, you know, but hopefully one of them will be a gumball. Yes, it's shooting gumballs at us. Huzzah! So it's also shooting laser beams and cannonballs, but it's now kind of shooting those purple gumballs out of its red nose, which is exactly what we wanted. We want it to look like Rudolph is attacking us with his nose, which he's had it up here with us in our labor practices. So we have now created, you know, our Deathly Rudolph. I'm going to go ahead and take off these other shoot actions that I had put on those other pieces. So we're going to remove that component. So this is the component that has our shoot action. I'm going to look at that gumball, and I'm going to change the color here to red, maybe. Am I allowed to do that? Maybe not. Tactile. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna maybe duplicate this gumball. So let's do that. Okay. So Lego projectiles. Can we copy that? Create. Ooh. Maybe that's not going to happen. All right, good enough. We've got it shooting gumballs at us. That's all we need from Rudolph. The other thing is maybe we want Rudolph to not immediately start stalking us, but that we have to get close enough before he'll come attack us. I'm also going to move this wind condition out of the way so Rudolph doesn't keep getting stuck on it. So I'm going to add a couple more behavior bricks real quick, and then we can call Rudolph complete. So going back to behaviors, we have, we're going to add a nearby trigger. So the nearby trigger is going to say, basically, it'll look for the player and say that we're only going to start attacking the player when we're close to the player. We're only going to start following and attacking Santa once he comes close to Rudolph. And the distance is by default set to 10, and we could play around with how close we want Santa to have to get to Rudolph before Rudolph starts attacking. Because the way we had it set up before, Rudolph just immediately starts attacking the player from the very beginning, which isn't really fair if the player doesn't know what's going to happen. But now we can make it so you actually have to walk over, oh geez, and be pretty close to Rudolph before he starts hunting you down. So that's like fun, right? It's nice for Rudolph to be initially just kind of hanging out, but then start hunting you down once you get too close. That's kind of like a fun enemy. Oh, I'll play that again. So I'm going to just change the speed or the distance on that so you don't have to get quite so close. So let's make that 15 and save. And now what I'm also going to do is going to zoom out a little bit and make this level way more complicated. Okay. So I'm going to move over here. So we had this large present over here, right? That explodes. And we knew that is the present large. We're going to unpack that prefab. And we also hit a pickup inside of it, right? So if we look, pickup number 2 is inside of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine the 2 of those into a single prefab. So if we, I think, unpack. So we're going to put this prefab as a child of that. And then we're going to take present large down into our project down here. This is a little complicated stuff that we're doing, but basically what I'm doing is I'm making it so that whole idea of an exploding present that then reveals a smaller present will be something we can make over and over again. So rather than having to place a bunch of those things, we can just place this and another one And all of these should have a present inside of them. Oop. Let's move another one. So that our total number of collectible presents will be up to 10 now. And 4 of them will be hidden inside of exploding boxes. So basically what I did is I just grouped the exploding box with a small collectible piece so that I could kind of mass reproduce them. Let's see if this works now when I play it. All right, so it says there's 10, so let's test out this one. So there's a spoon, and there's a present inside. A spoon, there's a present inside. Oh, that present's trapped in the chimney. I'll have to fix that one. Somebody's screaming at me, 093565, hello? That one didn't have a present. So I messed up one of the presents, it looks like. And if I walk by Rudolph, he's gonna get angry and start chasing me. So I might die. But I think actually Rudolph is stuck now because of all the present debris that we scattered all over this level. And again, this is one of the reasons it's important to playtest, is to see if your level is actually possible to beat. We made it impossible. Oh no, it is possible. So here we go. So we've got like a whole functioning level now. We've got an enemy. We've got 10 things to pick up. There is a present that is trapped inside a fireplace, so we want to fix that maybe. But other than that, we're doing pretty good. Okay, so it looks like that's present number 4, so we're just going to delete that one. So it's not trapped inside a fireplace. This present, which one are you? Oh, you know what? I think this box lost its present because when I went over there, there was no present inside of it. So I think this present was supposed to be part of that box. That's that present and that present. And then this is that present and that present. Yep, this present and that present. So let's just delete those. They're kind of far out of the way anyway. And now we're going to do the same thing with Rudolph that we did with that giant present, is that make the Rudolph into a prefab that will bring all of the logic that we built into Rudolph with it. So Rudolph right now, if we just drag it down here, it'll take the Rudolph that we added all the stuff to and make it, this new Rudolph enemy we've created. And we can put a whole bunch of evil Rudolphs all around our level, near some of the presents, and make this a more dangerous level here for Santa to try and complete. Okay, so we're down to 8 presents because we got rid of some. But if we walk over here, that Rudolph's going to start chasing us. So now we've got to run away from that Rudolph. We get some presents. This present is right next to a Rudolph, so that's a danger area. Have to explode these. That Rudolph's coming for us. But luckily I got stuck on the debris of that present. That one got stuck on a candy cane. But that one, oh, that one's coming for us. Whoa! Only found 4 of the presents. Alright. Oh, geez. So those Rudolphs are getting stuck, which does make this level a little easier. But then we open that up and find the last present, right? So now we've got kind of like a more satisfying level. There's a little difficulty. There's different things to find. You could possibly get killed by an evil reindeer, which is, everything you want from a Christmas level. The other thing we could do with Rudolph is we could make it, one, we could give it the ability to go through anything so it doesn't get stuck on all of those different things it was getting stuck on. So I believe if we look down at this Rudolph, let's just look at this Rudolph. So we had different rules here on how it can move, which are under the move behavior brick. So if we select an individual piece here, rather than, so there's this collide checkbox. So basically that's the thing that says, if there's another object in the way, I'm going to interact with it and not go through it, so I can't go through solid walls. But we want our Rudolphs to be able to go through solid walls so they can chase Santa forever, because that's the kind of game we're making. So if I go into the Rudolph prefab here, so this is the kind of copy of Rudolph that we made that has all of our rules. I can unselect collide there. And now if I save that, I don't know if that'll apply to all of the copies of it that we put in the scene. Theoretically, it should, because these were all instances of that prefab. Yep, so we can see Rudolph 2, Rudolph 1, this Rudolph, all are now have collide unchecked. However, our original Rudolph was not a copy of the prefab because it's the thing we turned into the prefab. And I know that's a complicated sentence. Oh no, it is still. All right, so if I'm correct, now all of these Rudolphs should run through walls to hunt down Santa wherever he goes, which is what we want, because we want the player to be chased by a pack of evil Rudolphs. So let's activate this Rudolph over here. And now if we trick it to try and go through that candy cane, it goes right through the candy cane. It's an unstoppable Rudolph. Oh, this one got me. So maybe I've made the level too hard now, right? Now that these Rudolphs can't be stopped, Santa really has no hope aside from running so fast that, you know, they never catch him. But we're going to change that prefab again to make the Rudolph possible to stop. So what we're going to do, we're going to open our prefab Rudolph down here, and we're going to add some behavior bricks. So the behavior brick we want is explode. So actually, we don't want scripts, we want prefab behavior brick. So we're going to make Rudolph explode. And again, we could make this all prettier by not just stacking all of these on the back, but that's what we're doing. It's just stacking them all up. And then we're going to add a touch. So what the touch trigger is going to do is we're going to say that if Santa touches Rudolph, Rudolph explodes. So Rudolph is trying to shoot Santa, but Santa can stop Rudolph by touching him to explode him. Okay, so so this is not the prettiest thing, but we're going to say that this is connected just to one action. So we're going to make this a size of 1 here. And what it is going to do is it is going to explode Rudolph if it gets touched. That is what is activated by touch. And then we're also going to change the nearby trigger to have specific actions because we don't want the nearby trigger to explode Rudolph. We just want it to activate the move and the shoot. So actually, we're going to do 3. We're going to do look. Let's make that 3. Select action, move, and select action, shoot. So now Rudolph should, if I did this correctly, let's go back to our main scene here. So as you can see, all of our Rudolphs everywhere in the level now have this giant bunch of bricks on top of them. So they should now be able to be destroyed by Santa. So they should follow us around when we get close, shoot at us, but if we touch them, they explode and we are safe. Okay, so we get near, it starts following us. We magically walk the wall. Let's check. Yes. But if we are able to get close enough, touch it. Come on. Boom! We can blow up Rudolph. So now it's able to, you're still going to get chased by evil Rudolphs. But if you're, clever enough to get behind them and touch them, you can make them explode and be safe. So that feels like a nice balanced mix of gameplay, right? So presents to collect, they're all over. Some of them are right next to Rudolph, so we're going to trigger these evil robot Rudolphs who are shooting at Santa. But Santa can fight back and put the evil robots in their place while making the holiday bright and merry by collecting presents. And there we go. We have a whole game now. So I feel like that's a good place to stop for today in terms of building a game. Like, there's a lot of things we could do here to make this level more complicated. We could add areas you have to jump up to, different types of enemies, different types of collectibles. But I feel like for our first game that we just built in 2 hours, this is a pretty good example of what you can do with the LEGO Unity Microgame tool, right? So we went from starting through the tutorials step by step, just to moving things around and doing kind of what they were saying, to deleting most of their stuff, making one big area, pulling in some different pieces from one of the mods, making our own level, making a gameplay where you go around and collect presents, making our own enemy with behavior bricks, changing that enemy over time. So this is really like a great introduction if you just want to start to play around making your own level. I will also upload this level so you can play it. So what I'm going to do for that is we are going to go to okay, so I'm saving it. And now I'm going to go to publish and do WebGL project. So WebGL is Unity's way of taking your game and making it something that can be played in any internet browser. You'll need a keyboard and mouse. You can't play it on mobile, but you can play it on a computer just in your browser, as opposed to having to download a file and open it on your computer. Or Unity can also build for consoles like Switch and PlayStation, mobile things. But WebGL is a really nice way to build things because it's just playable in a browser. So I'm going to hit build and publish and switch it to, say, WebGL. And it's going to ask me where on my computer I want to save it. And it's already found a folder within Brickworld Holiday that I had created earlier called WebGL builds. So I'm going to choose that, and this is going to take a while, and it might take 20 minutes to build this. But we'll just watch the menu progress bar go, and I'll send a link to Mark whenever the game is up, so that he can include it in a follow-up email. And again, I'm going to upload this whole video that you've been a part of to my YouTube channel, which is Brick101, Brick101. So I'll upload the whole thing, and right in the description of the video will be a link to the game that I made today, so that all of you can play it and see for yourself how to be Santa fighting against evil Rudolphs and collecting presents and ho-ho-hoing the whole way. And maybe you think the level's too hard, and you can tell me, right? Like, my process in the LEGO community has always been one that's driven by fan engagement and interaction. So when people tell me what to build, I try to build it. This time, oh, we've got some happy faces there and a happy little mouse or something. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming today. If anybody else wants to put on your video and wave hello, you can do that. But thank you for showing up and watching while I built my fun Santa game and giving me suggestions. I'm really happy with our evil Rudolph. Yeah, no, I'll definitely get that link out as soon as I can. I don't know that we'll see how long it takes to build here. It'd be amazing if it's done in the next 10 minutes, but we'll see. But if not, I'll definitely make sure that gets out on to Brickworld on social media, that kind of things. Then you can play it. If not today, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, and then if you're ever looking for a good semester-long school project, right? Like this Lego Unity thing does have step-by-step things where if you're doing homeschool, this is a thing you could slowly try to do on your own, right? Like what we did today was actually a lot, right? And could be broken down step by step into just let's do the first step of this tutorial today and take 30 minutes to do that. So I think there's a lot of opportunities, if you've got a computer and want to try to do this yourself, slowly learning and teaching yourself. But, I just wanted to show what's possible because I think this is an amazing tool to make your own Lego game. It's something I always wanted, and I'm really glad it exists. So yeah, it is now doing all of its compiling and we'll just let it go, but we've got 12 more minutes on the call. So feel free to ask me questions in chat or just hang out or go to a different room if you want to for the last little bit of Brickworld.